Hi, it's Navi.
It's Sarah.
I think this is gonna be fun. Super fun.
My mic, I guess.
Yeah, this
For
one.
that. Okay. So we're gonna, I guess, welcome to the circus.
Welcome.
Today we are starting with death.
In today's ring, it's about my dad. I don't know if we're gonna cry. I don't know if I'm gonna cry.
She gonna cry.
I don't know.
She gonna cry. That's why I bought you. She gonna cry.
Look, she literally brought a thing of fucking tissues.
I know you.
Can we curse? I don't know if we can curse.
We can curse. We can curse. Remember, I put this up for 18 and older, so.
I want this to be like Netflix, not like fucking. Because they cuss on Netflix. They show titty on Netflix.
Death makes us weird, by the way.
No, because, look.
I mean, it's inevitable. But
Yeah.
it's just weird when it happens suddenly.
I know.
I guess we have our first guest of the show.
First caller. Let me call this fool.
I remember about the funeral.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Grandma breaking down. I remember seeing Grandpa breaking down. I remember those that were close to Dad. That was the first time, like, those that were closest to my dad, that's the first time I really see them broken like that. Because I remember I was sitting on Mom's lap while she was right next to Dad. And I broke down and started crying and shit like crazy. I was bawling my eyes out.
Was that the funeral there or the wake?
The viewing.
The viewing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was just breaking down in Uncle Dave's arms, and
Yes, you were crying a lot.
it was hard.
Yes.
Like, I remember I said a prayer for him, and that's when I broke down and started crying, and I couldn't stop after that. And I forgot what they did with me that night, but
We fell asleep. Okay, so I don't know what happened to you that night, but at the funeral, we fell asleep because we all had been crying so much. We all fell asleep on Uncle Vin.
Amir fell asleep for sure. He was on the couch right next to us.
No, we were all in the front row, and we fell asleep during the service.
Nah, I was still crying.
I fell asleep on Uncle Vin. I was so exhausted from crying the whole time. My contacts got infected, and I couldn't wear contacts.
I remember that.
And I could only wear my glasses because we were crying so fucking much.
I don't know. It was just a tough time for all of us. I was a kid. Like,
no, I remember coming to the house. That shit was wild.
It fucked me up for a lot of years, and like, I think what makes it hard is like me and Dad's birthday being 5 days apart. Like, I hate that shit every year because I got to get through his birthday before I get to mine. And I just remember our last time, on our last birthday together, you know what he said to me? He came and asked me. I think it was like a day after school or something like that. Me and Amir just got through our homework. He bought us KFC that day because me and Amir literally got whatever the fuck we wanted because we had good grades all the time. And he was just like, "Hey, Khalid, what do you want to do for our birthday this year?" And he was like, specifically said, our birthday. He was like, "I can either get us tickets to the Charlotte game, we can go see the Magics, or Rondo jersey." I asked him for a Rondo jersey, and you know what he ended up getting me? That Kevin Garnett jersey. And so, still, it was still cool. But it was just cool, like...
Okay, so after the funeral, the Canadians...
Oh, and don't say names.
How did you first meet them? What was your first memory of them?
I met them at school. Went to elementary with them. So one of the kids that was my age, I went to elementary.
The conspiracy with them, they knew the family from Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they knew your grandpa.
And they knew Grandpa. They knew the Canadian side really well. And she was like best friends with one of them. So they had actually fled Canada because they were owing debts and they were doing bad business with a lot of people, so they fled Canada. And they just happened to end up in Central Florida, and you just happened to go to school with the fucking kid.
Hella coincidences.
Yeah.
Setup. That's a setup.
I thought that lady was weird.
I mean, when we were dancing in the living room and stuff, it didn't seem...
Nah, like low key, she was like after your dad died, she got really weird.
Do you want to tell the camera something?
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
All right.
Do a exit before we hang up.
All right. World. I don't know.
All right, bye.
No, wait, hold on. I got something. Hey.
All right.
My name's Khalid Eddie Muhammad. Proudly serving the United States Marine Corps.
Oh my God.
And hope to, hopefully I contribute to my sister's lame podcast. But,
He's lame. He's a hater.
I drop music. I do music too.
Yeah, watch him try to be on the platform.
And I go by Don True Lid.
Okay, bye.
Fuck you then. Oh.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
The fuck you have me on this podcast for if you didn't let me do a complete sign off there.
Okay, do it.
Yo. It's MTV Crew. This shit.
That's why.
I still grew up a skinny ass, scrawny little West Indian boy that still loves his Dalperia and his fucking bust-up shot. That still loves his fucking curry. That still loves his chow.
So you're wasting my film right now by not talking about Dad?
We're gonna have to cut
that was
all.
the whole year.
We have to cut all of this out.
Yes, you got way off topic talking about yourself as usual.
Alright, how about this? Now you got more footage to fucking go through and edit. So you got homework tonight, baby. Alright.
Now we're just gonna cut your whole segment.
Alright, y'all want to do that again? Can we start over?
I think that's it. Thank you for coming on the show today. We hope that you continue to serve the country and don't do no dumb shit.
No, but on for real, what's really your rank? Because I don't even know.
I'm a Lance Corporal. I'm an E3.
Okay.
Okay.
Like you smoke.
You sound like a parrot.
Listen, I smoke and you get high.
Look. You sound like a typical West Indian parent.
Listen.
How I call you in front of people, you don't answer so.
Listen, because I am.
You are.
Just a little bit.
You are.
As much as I didn't want to be, I ended up just like my mother. Oops. This is not in a bad way. Not a bad way.
No, it's not in a bad way.
Crap. What was your thoughts when you met my dad? Or what do you remember meeting him?
I remember we were, I think, 15, 14, 15, or 15, 14, turning 15, somewhere in that area. And it was
after we had already met in high school.
Yeah. And it was I think it was like one of the Caribbean block parties that they used to do in Kissimmee a lot.
Yeah. Those days. How old were we? Yeah,
15.
Yeah.
About 15.
But we were partying with our parents.
Yes.
They used to be with us. And our
be
little brothers.
Yeah. Don't go nowhere without your brother.
Family age appropriate parties. Like they used to have little dance groups come and like it was fun.
Yeah. So it was one of the Caribbean parties, like block party things. And you're all just like, come meet my dad. And I'm like, fine.
Even the parking lot one.
Yeah. And then I met your dad, and I was all just like, oh, he's gonna get along great with my father because they both like to party. And I met your dad. Your dad was all just like, oh, you need to come around more. Navi needs more friends like you.
Little did he know. Little did he know.
And then from there, that's when I became your dad's favorite out of all your friends.
Spit it out.
It's the truth. Sorry, Chantal. It's the truth.
Listen.
You can hate all you want. I was his favorite.
I think...
Navi couldn't go anywhere without me.
I think because at that time, back in high school, we went to mostly African American, white, a little bit of Spanish here and there. We were like the majority of the Indians there.
True.
So like for me to have an Indian friend, he was all for it. Not even the other one. It was more like you because of your dad.
Probably.
And then your dad put on my dad to the chiropractic thing when we got into the
'cause he had gotten
accident.
into this car accident.
And then after that, they just started chilling. And then I'm like, this is easy. It just made
True.
it very easy. So
True.
I'm like, okay, cool. And she actually likes me.
Look, I tried to ditch you. You're all just like, oh my god, chicken curry.
I know. So I think, so he did think of you like a good friend because you were for the culture too. And then when we went to parties, to the Boggy Creek parties, it was fun.
Mad nonsense back in them days.
And it was, it was cool. And then our brothers were fucking friends.
Yeah, they were close in age. I mean, my brothers, well,
They were like,
all my brothers were
my
older,
brothers
but they
look
were-
up to yours.
Yeah.
They thought of them like,
Oh my god, cool kids. They're so cool. They're older. They want to hang out with us.
yeah. They got to hang out with the cool kids. And it's funny that Sean and them were the cool kids. While we were making them the cool kids.
Yeah.
You see how that goes? So the weekend he passed, right? I remember it as SeaWorld.
I remember it as...
That weekend of SeaWorld.
We did go to SeaWorld, but I remember it as we were literally just talking about me getting my driver's license. That was a rough day for me. But I still got my driver's license, though.
Do you have a picture of it?
Of that one? No, I don't.
Damn.
Because after I married Richard, they take your old driver's license away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember
They
because
confiscate your license and give you your new one.
I was mad at him because he wouldn't let me go to your house. And I was like, well, why? What the fuck? Like, we had just came back from SeaWorld, and I was already, like, chilling at your house every weekend anyway. I'm like, what's the difference for this weekend? And at the time, I didn't understand it, right?
But he wanted you to stay there because
Yeah.
somebody... I remember.
No, think of it spiritually. Maybe subconsciously he
Oh, you
wanted
think?
me there.
So maybe.
Because he didn't know something was happening, but he knew. Like, his body knew.
Maybe. But...
Like, I think that now that I look back at it, right? Because
Okay.
I look back at it a lot.
But it could have been, but the logical reason is because he wanted to go do his own thing and your mom was at work and your dad was all just like, but you gotta watch the boy. Because we were going to leave to go back to my house, but then your dad was all just like, to mine, come take a beer. And that's how we ended up staying. I remember that part a bit.
So then he was out all day with my grandparents at a timeshare.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I'm 17. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just like,
Yeah,
damn.
we had plans that day. I don't remember
I
what
was
the plans
like-
were, but we had plans.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, damn, this dude won't let me fucking go out with my friend. Like, I was out all day. Can't I just stay out? Like, shit. I ain't got no responsibilities at that time. Come on. I got all the responsibilities. But,
Yeah.
like, damn, you couldn't let me live? That shit got hard after that.
Nah, he literally was all just like, I want to go get them Vegas tickets.
Because he won cash. They won cash money and then the trip to Vegas.
I knew Vegas was part of the deal.
Yeah, and I was like, this motherfucker.
Dad, can I go outside somewhere? No, but Sarah's coming. Sarah's going? All right, bye.
It's horrible. Little did he know.
I was the one getting us into the bullshit.
See, so then after SeaWorld, got into that fight, you guys came at the house. And then all I remember is I went to bed, and Khalid and Amir did too. And he was watching TV in the living room.
It was like an hour after I left.
So it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Because we left at I want to say 8:39. Because you called me right when I was getting into bed.
Okay, yeah. So it was around 10-ish when he went to bed. He was watching TV in the
I
living
didn't
room.
fall asleep. Because you called and I answered.
Yeah. Thank God. Because so when that happened, it was like 11-ish. And then I'm on the phone with the ambulance. Khalid, and my mom was giving my dad CPR. And Khalid, I was on the phone with the ambulance, and I went outside. I'm trying to give them directions or telling them what's going on. And I'm knocking on neighbors' doors and shit. And my uncle wasn't at the house at the time. Because he had already...
the one who lived down the...
Yeah, he had already gotten fucking deported for that situation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Uncle, rest in peace. because he died over there.
Oh, did he? I did not know.
Yeah. So I was, and no neighbor answered. So I went back inside, and my mom was getting tired of doing the CPR. So then I go and I start doing CPR, and then Khalid's on the phone with the ambulance.
Oh, damn, Khalid was like 8 or 9.
He was like
I want to say 8.
10. He was 10. 7 years younger. 10.
Was it 10?
Yeah, he was like 10. And then Amir was
Oh, yeah,
7.
that's right. He had just turned 10.
Yeah, the February.
Yeah.
Because this was April. So he was on the phone with them, and then Amir woke up, and then trying to see what's happening. And then...
And he didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Because he was so little.
And then next thing you know, because I don't remember leaving the room. We just continued to work on him.
I know my dad showed up because
I remember the fire people came in, the ambulance people, the first responders, they came in. And then they took over and started doing CPR too. And then they guided us out the house, and then that's when I called all you guys. Yeah, and then they kept us outside.
I think my dad showed up in like less than 15 because it was down the street.
It was less than that.
Yeah.
It was we used to walk.
Yeah, I know.
We walked. Your brothers walked. It was literally down Carroll Street.
Yeah, down the street.
So that's when I called you, and I didn't even know how to tell you that. No, like, how did I even tell you? I don't even remember that.
I answered, you're like, Sarah, sobbing, and I'm like, okay, what happened? I'm thinking you and your dad got into another argument or something.
Routine,
because she would call me whenever they had arguments, like, I fucking hate this house. Yeah. So I'm assuming it was one of these phone calls.
Fair.
And then it was you sobbing, and I told you to calm down, breathe. And you're all just like, my dad's dying. And I was like, oh shit, let me go call Tulsi. Because you asked if my dad or mom could come.
Yeah.
Because you were freaking out. And your mom was like in shock, where she did like, you're like, you know when people find out about death and they're so shocked that you're not like responding?
Yeah.
She was in like that kind of state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you told me. So I was like, okay, cool. And my dad was still up, so I was like, Dad, we might have to go back to Navi's house. Her dad died, and my dad was like, no, what the fuck, no way. And then he was all just like,
I know, he probably freaked out.
Yeah, and so he
because he was just there.
Yeah, we were just there. So I know he
like not even an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's how quick that shit went.
So I know he ran over, and then obviously I wasn't sleeping because I was on the phone with you.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we didn't go to bed until like maybe 5 in the morning. And then at 8 in the morning, I had my driver's test.
When we left the house, I went in the car in the van, and my brothers are crying. And I was like calming them down. I'm like, well, I didn't even know what to say. I said, no, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And it wasn't okay, obviously. Yeah. So get to the hospital. He was already there. They worked on him, pronounced him dead. And then we had to call everybody. My cousin Mike's in the room, in the waiting room, calling everybody, crying. Everybody, like my dad's sisters, crying.
And I was on the phone with you because I remember.
Yeah, I was outside walking around. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? I'm like, what is really happening at this fucking moment right now? Like one of the most life-changing things that could have ever happened. Well, on top of, a few others that happened along the way. But first one. It was the first one. The first of many.
That was the first one after being born.
Yeah. My first touch of death. And then the wake. And then the wake happened for...
Oh, that was a blur for me.
For like 3 weeks.
That wake was a blur for me. Because I was there every day.
Yeah, it happened for 3 weeks, and every day, new family kept coming.
I know.
And more kept coming. And more kept coming. I said, yo, where the fuck are all these people going?
I remember you get overstimulated, and me and our other friend.
And I'd want to dip.
Yeah, you got so overstimulated. Me and our other friend at that time was all just like, let's go get coffee at Barney's.
Yeah, that's all. Even my other cousins, they were like, this is too much. It's way too much family around.
We would kidnap you, and then your mom would call, being like, "Where you guys went? Oh, we just took Navi to get like a drink.
Like, I can't fucking leave?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta hold me hostage too?
But your mom was cool with it because you were with us. She just wanted to make sure you were coming back.
Yeah. I mean, after that, it was a wrap because everything just changed. And then the funeral was like huge. I fell asleep. I was in the
I
front
was not
row.
at the funeral because I had
Work.
I had to go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
We were in it was our senior year.
Yeah, because I had taken 3 weeks off.
No, it was the end of junior year.
Yes, it was end of junior. That's why I almost failed because the fucking school almost held me back because I failed 2 classes. I said, how can you fail me when I had a valid reason why I was out?
Yeah.
How can you tell me how long to take off? How can you tell me how to grieve?
Yeah, I had to be,
Like,
all of our friends kept asking, "Where's Navi? Where's Navi?" And I'm
like, why you fucking care now? Y'all motherfuckers didn't like me before. Why you fucking care
and I'm
now?
all just like, I don't know, like if I should say it because it's still very sensitive for me because we were all like a really close family group, or was I'm worried about your feelings because it was like very sensitive for you at the time, and I was all just like, look, I'll tell you after school because I don't want the whole fucking school to know our business.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, her dad died. And I'm like, oh my God, why did you say something, bitch? You weren't her friend like that anyway.
Tell it like it is. That's how I want to be when I die. Don't you come to my fucking funeral acting like you liked me. So the Canadian.
Towards the end, we'll call him.
Yeah.
Let him talk about his experience.
The Canadian conspiracy.
Look, all I know is they showed up out of fucking nowhere. What I remember about the Canadians. I think one of them was in a class with Khalid.
Yes.
Or some shit like that.
Yes.
And then
all of a sudden they became friends. It was the most awkward fucking link up ever. And this just so happens to be your mother.
So I remember how I remember
2 of the kids. One was in Amir school, one was at Khalid school. There was 2 boys.
Oh, okay. I just remember one of them was friends with Khalid or Amir. I think it's the younger one was friends with Amir.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the younger one. Because Khalid was awkward. So what I remember about the Canadians were, this is before your dad died. That's how they showed up out of nowhere. I remember them being introduced as, oh, this is Amir's little school friend parents. And they were also West Indian. And that was when we used to do those nights hanging out by the house.
This is what happens when you don't hang around your own culture and you become desperate for fucking culture. And you just, the first thing off the street, you want to come and take it home and fucking, did you check it for drugs, for rabies? Did you check?
So weird. Curry on the grave right after it finishes. Like halfway through, stop!
You're going to sprinkle a little curry chicken on it. Body from the hood. I got a TV, but it don't work.
I lost the remote a while ago while I was moving. It's just been there since.
I got a Wi-Fi box, but it's not plugged in. It's not connected.
Deadass, I have a laptop,
but it don't.
no internet.
I got peanut butter, no jelly.